Welcome back, everyone, to round two of the Coalition League's Spring Week 1. The game we're looking at right now is DoV Nightfall versus MG Blaze. I'm Random Minion Caster, and I'm back with Rookter.
Hi, Random. How's it going this evening?
Good, good. Excited to get back into round two.
Yeah, exactly. DoV Nightfall and MG Blaze had good showings in their first matchups, so we'll see how this game develops. But definitely looking forward to that. Draft has been completed here. We do have the on top with the Trundle and Fizz accompanied with that Janna and Jinx in the bot lane. So a nice sort of standard team fight comp there with Phantom X adding a little bit of flavor there. See if he can get ahead on this Fizz. Look for some Chum the Waters. Look for some accessibility. But on the other side of that, we have such a tanky lineup here with this Leona, Aphelios, Sejuani, Fiora, and Vladimir. The only the really target will be Billie Eilish on this Aphelios.
Yeah, and just looking at the lineups, personally, I favor MG Blaze's lineup. I think they've got the winning matchups in most of their lanes here. So Phantom X is going to have a bit of a job ahead of him trying to get that lead, because who's he really going to target after laning phase is done? There's only, as you said, really Billie Eilish. Trying to go for Dirty Hole would be a secondary, but he would have to get past the riposte of Fiora there.
Yeah, a couple of notes was that Camille, which Dirty Hobo played in game one against Ra, did very well. So that was banned out. We've seen a lot of Misfortune games today as well, so that was banned out. And Cassiopeia seems to be a fairly favored ban against Zyra Ascend in the mid.
Yeah, Zyra Ascend is well known for his Cassiopeia, but he's also known for his Vladimir. Late game consistent damage carries are sort of Zyra's bread and butter there. And we also see the Cho'Gath ban coming up from MG Blaze, which I thought was very interesting. That's a Phantom X special, I guess, that he pulled out last game.
Yeah, I actually blind picked that as well, so feeling fairly confident on that champion. Going again with a melee champion in the mid lane, but Phantom X is going to have to pilot this Fizz very well, as we said. A lot of tanky members, very much a structured team fight that they're looking for, so he has to be a little bit creative as he doesn't really want to fight front to back. He wants to look for that flank and look for that Aphelios out of position.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it's going to come down to Gunth and CPEC, the junglers here, to see which lanes they can get ahead. And if they can get, whichever lanes they can get ahead will probably help decide the course of the game, as both teams seem to have a very similar approach to this game. And it will just come down to which team can get their split push or team fight off better.
Yeah, exactly, Random. Well, we will load right into the game now. Looking forward to this. Getting close, down to the wire here. Coalition League Week 1. Looking forward to it as they do load into the Rift.
Yeah, and for this one, I'm not expecting really any invades here. Neither team having particularly strong level 1s. We've got a bit of a more ranged knock-up from the Janna on the side of DoV. But MG Blaze having Leona makes any level 1 engage very, very dicey, especially if it extends into longer fights. So very standard 5-man setup here.
Playing a little bit careful here, just forming that scrimmage along the river line. Definitely not looking for anything level 1.
Yeah, and we'll have to see where the junglers want to start here. Both top and bot are somewhat volatile lanes. Probably on the side of MG Blaze, they'll be looking for kills early. As we've said in previous games, any lane, bot lane, which has a Leona has a very, very strong level 2 all-in. And on the side of MG Blaze, they'll probably be looking to get that level 2 as fast as possible and engage on the squishy counterparts of Jinx and Janna there for DoV.
Yeah, exactly, Random. I think the main matchup to watch will be this ticking time bomb of the Fiora top lane. Obviously, Lord of Aces wants to use that tanky stats, wants to get to that level 14, start dishing out that additional upgrades of the Masterwork items over to his teammates. But he's going to be trapped in this side lane for quite a while, you think, and we'll have to see how this Fiora does. Dirty Hobo had a great showing on that Camille, and we can see if he can do that likewise in this.
Yeah, and generally speaking, Fiora is the favorite side of the matchup between Fiora and Ornn. So as you mentioned, a ticking time bomb, and we do see Gunth starting on his bot side, red side. So he will get a bit of a stronger leash from his bot lane, and he will hopefully be aiming for that top lane, trying to delay the Fiora strength, get Ornn his lead. And we see CPEC kind of doing the opposite there, starting his red. Will be looking for a gank down bot, most likely level 2, level 3.
Aggressive onto Lord of Aces already. Does start with that corrupting potion, so can charge it up. Got that Doran's Blade in response there as well, but nice little early trade here for Dirty Hobo.
Yeah, and that is one thing a lot of Orange will do.
Oh, goes aggressively again. The Vinyl's on the right side. He has to flash away from it.
Yeah, and I mean, I was just going to say, that's the thing a lot of Orange will do is they'll start a consumable and then they'll build their items in lane if necessary from that passive. But with that rough a start, I don't think the pot will be enough to keep him safe. He will probably have to base or play very, very carefully. And if he doesn't base, he will probably begin losing minions to Dirty Hobo.
Well, we set a ticking time bomb, but it's already started. Lord of Aces is going to have this massive wave. We'll see if he can collect a lot of this. If he loses out on this wave, this will be very, very difficult for him to play around it. He should be able to, as he's just surviving up with these corrupting potions. Going to be able to secure this wave for himself. Dirty Hobo actually taking a tower shot there as well, playing very aggressive at the start.
Yeah, and Lord of Aces has completely used up all his pots, so that's all his sustain in lane used up. Dirty Hobo having the Duran's Blade will be able to sustain a little better in lane, but we do have to keep in mind, Ornn has the ability to build items, so he can build a Duran's item in lane for more sustain should he wish to do so.
Yeah, CPEC into the bottom side of the map here, looking for a little bit of a wraparound. There is a ward, we'll see if that'll get spotted. But they're looking aggressive. They can go in with Wardbox as well. They go forward. Flash, stun onto Poison Lynch. The exhaust comes down as well. First blood going over to Billie Eilish. Now they get the secondary stun going on. CPEC, double kill going over to Billie Eilish.
And that is going to spell problems for DoV. DoV's relying on Jinx as a late game hyper carry, but she is being shoved down right now by that aggressive.
Dirty Hobo is in a sticky wicket going forward. Lord of Ace is going to be able to get secured. Gets the assist over as well to Gunth.
Caught between a hard place and a trundle. Dirty Hobo's early lead is gone, but Dirty Hobo is still up a lot of CS and does have teleport to get back to lane very quickly there. And as you said, it's just delaying a ticking time bomb, so I don't expect that kill will cause too much problems for Dirty Hobo in the top lane there. Looking at mid lane, we see Zyra ascends on the Vladimir, abusing the range on Phantom X there. Fizz taking a lot of damage. Fizz still has a lot of his mana, so we'll have to see whether or not he decides to all in, but post 6, it's actually very difficult for Fizz to get a kill on Vlad alone, so that window of opportunity is closing real quick in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, you're right, Random. Doesn't have any more corrupting charges, and it's just getting pushed on the tower quite aggressively. Dirty Hobo actually taking a lot of brittle stacks there as well. Has to be a little bit careful. Can survive with that Vamp set on the tower, though.
Yeah, that was a huge minion wave that Dirty Hobo was tanking up. Will probably heal up most of his health there, back to more than 50% just off this wave, and is lasting extremely well. Just as I said that he misses one, but will still have that huge CS lead there on Lord of Aces. Now looking just quickly down at the bot lane, Billie Eilish has picked up his BF sword already, whereas Jinx just sitting on double daggers. With the additional damage from Leona's passive, but Billie Eilish should be able to easily pop either Janna or Jinx, anybody that Wardbox can get onto.
Yeah, look at this mana coming out. Fairy Charms galore in the bottom lane for Web Hippo.
Yeah, and Web Hippo is going to need to have enough mana to constantly pop shields on either himself or on Poison Lynch. And his tornadoes are going to need to be on point to stop ward boxes and engages. One thing to note is that level 6, once the bot lane hits level 6, the tornadoes will no longer be able to stop the engages as effectively from the Leona Aquilios bot lane.
Yeah, Dirty Hobo actually hitting level 6 first, looking for that engage. Wanting to put down that grand challenge if possible. Aggressively going forward now for Wardbox, looking for something. Chomper's going to come down to slow down Billie Eilish's aggression, but now he goes in, he's tanking it up, gets exhausted as well. Poison Lynch just trading back effectively though.
Yeah, that was very well played by the bot lane of DoV there. And they're going to need to keep doing that if they want to win this bot lane. That sort of just peel and kite back using the tornadoes, using the traps, just holding Billie Eilish and Wardbox at bay. If you can separate Wardbox and Billie Eilish, you can get a lot of damage on any one of them. It's just if they're together, then you've got problems.
Okay, you're right, Dirty Hobo looking aggressive into the top still. Going forward. Massive CS advantage as well for him. He needs to be a little bit careful as Gunther's here as well. The pillar will go down. Actually aids for the knock-up and second kill over to Gunther into the top lane.
That is huge. I mean, for all that Lord of Aces is down a lot of CS, he is setting up these ganks perfectly. And the trades too, we look at those trades. Dirty Hobo seems to be getting the short end of the stick on trades with Lord of Aces here. And if that's the case now, when they're already at 6, I think they might actually be able to delay the Fiora significantly, since Lord of Aces is actually able to get the damage down. Focusing. But looks like they're on to the first Drake, Inferno Drake right now. MGB will be able to take that completely uncontested from DoV there. And they can also begin to look at Herald, which will spawn in about 15 seconds there.
Yeah, that was nice of MG Blaze, just showing jungle topside had priority in the middle and bottom, just being able to collapse. So much vision now attributed towards MG Blaze into the bottom, so they can look to play aggressive. CPEC might look to hang around this. The red buff is available into the top lane, but see what he can get done around the map. The CS advantage just continuing to grow here into the top side. Bramble Vest finishes the first slice, so nice and defensive here for the On, but it's going to need that.
Yeah, and you know, just looking at the gold leads here, there's already a 1.5 thousand gold lead, primarily just off of laning here for MG Blaze. Mid lane, we see the sustainability of Vlad. He just outstains Phantom X's Fizz there. Phantom X blowing all his mana, still couldn't kill Zyra Ascends. And Zyra Ascend just heals right back up. Phantom X has to base. Top lane, Dirty Hobo's died twice now to Lord of Aces and Gunth's combined ganks there, and yet he's still up in CS and up in gold. Bot lane, that double kill lead there. Also huge, 800 gold.
Phantom X going aggressive. The pull's already been used. Has to flash away from Chum the Waters.
Yeah, and that's, you know, what I'm talking about. It's hard to kill the Vlad there, and if you look now at the mana, Phantom X down to less than a quarter of his mana. Zyra Ascends could have stayed in lane, but decides to base to pick up some items instead. And with that item pickup, his auto attacks, and he's going to have more cooldown. He's just going to be able to bully out Phantom X even worse than already.
Yeah, priority top side. That means CPEC can look for this early rift as well. Doesn't really need too much assistance for it. It's going fairly low. Should be able to secure that for himself. He's got a pink in it, so it's not spotted out. As I said, low mana on Phantom X as well, so can't really look to rotate.
Yeah, and with that, the Herald is picked up by CPEC there. Doesn't have to drop it right away. Can look to see where he wants to drop it. I mean, all his lanes are shoving right now, and he has winning lanes across the board, so he can pick and choose where he'll want to put that Herald for pressure. No major neutral objectives on the map right now. Both Dragon and Herald are down. Nick's Dragon will be coming up in about 2 minutes 40 seconds, and it will be a mountain break, which will make life that much harder for DoV if MG Blaze can pick it up.
Brandon, where would you go with this Rift Herald? I mean, you said that he has a lot of options. Ideally, I'm looking top side, potentially keep this Fiora ahead, but in the bottom side, Ward Box gets absolutely blown up, has to flash away, still going to go down to Poison Lynch though. That's what they needed to get this game going for them on the side of DoV. Call of the Forge God into the top side as well, trading aggressively, secures the solo kill onto Dirty Hobo. Massive advantage coming out here for DoV. A moment of brilliance.
And that is exactly what DoV needs to do. Gunth taking his lead, that pathing through the enemy jungle of MG Blaze there, it was beautiful. He did that wraparound which caught Ward Box, and he needs to continue doing that. Trundle is stronger than Sejuani and can steal her tankiness and stats. A natural tank buster. Sejuani shouldn't be able to fight Trundle in the jungle. And
CPEC is roaming down to the bottom. The Chompers are down. He actually tried to flash over them. Doesn't quite do it though. Flash defensively from Poison Lynch, but that's left Web Hippo in the dust.
Yeah, CPEC just brute forcing ganks, and that's what you can do on an aggressive lane. And you asked me where to put the Rift Herald. It's a moot point now. They're dropping it bot lane. And it's not a bad place to put it. They should be able to take this turret with the assistance of the Herald there. They stripped off almost all the plates. Wardblock just needs to get there. And they might be able to take the first turret of the game. But the armor on the turret there, the stacking bulwark is stacking up, and it looks like it will take them quite a bit longer than expected to take it.
Yeah, that last plate, so difficult to take. You get so much defense on the tower at that point, but very early in the game, 12 minutes to be able to take out a tower means that they're really sort of increasing the cadence of this game towards themselves. MG Blaze having quite a good early game, faltering a little bit there as the Fiora did die to the 1v1. That means that the Gunth ganks into the top lane has bore fruit. We can see how long he can keep them in check, though.
Yeah, but bot lane, that's a triple kill now on Billie Eilish, and also first turret gold was given over to Billie Eilish. So the leads he's gonna get are gonna be huge. Dragon will be coming up in 13 seconds. And as long as MG Blaze wants to contest this, I think it's gonna be very difficult for DoV to be able to win that fight.
Yeah, Gunther's actually onto the bot side of the map, so looking for vision around this second dragon. A little bit slower time as this was already taken previously. Looking for the aggression now for MG Blaze. They're coming back into the river. Started up by DoV.
And DoV does have teleport advantage in the top lane. Ornn can teleport to assist in the take there. MGB
Chompers are coming down for the defense. CPEC looking to try and steal. Doesn't quite manage to do it. Gunther manages to secure that. The ensuing fight comes forward. Gunther's now been lost in the dirt. Will eventually fall. Trying to get down onto Billie Eilish in the top side of the map, though. Call the Forge Gun looking aggressive. Hobo managing to kite around that, though. So much armor coming out. Really nice build path here coming out of Lord of Aces. Managing to survive this. This means Dirty Hobo just doesn't have the damage or the true damage to be able to cut through it currently.
Yeah, and that taking of the Mountain Drake is pretty big for DoV. Lord of Aces, the biggest beneficiary from that, but Gunth will appreciate it as well. Gunth doing a very good job there to manage to take that dragon despite his entire team abandoning him. I'm not sure that's necessarily the best way going forward for them to take objectives, but it worked for now, and it keeps them in the game, which is very much what they need. That mid lane turret getting dangerously low. They've rotated Billie Eilish and Wardbox up to the mid lane, trying to take that turret, and they've switched Zyra Ascends down to the long bot lane there.
Brandon, we talked about this Fizz needing to have a fairly good early game. Clearly we can see that he's been struggling against the onslaught that Zyra Ascend's been putting up into the mid lane. Finish this proto belt. What does he need to do to get into this game?
He needs to find the picks, but the only targets really he's got is Dirty Hobo and Billie Eilish. And we have to keep in mind, Dirty Eilish, 4-0, 450 gold bounty right now, 6,500 gold, richest in the game. He's no longer that easy target, and if Phantom X wants to go from, he has to be careful.
Aggression coming up, MG Blaze, Warbox going on to Phantom X. Has he overextended though, as he's waiting for the scene? CPEC is here, but blown up here. 5-0 on Billie Eilish, going aggressively forward now. Web Hippo into the dragon there, has to flash away. Tower gonna go down. Pushing forward for MG Blaze.
And that's the opposite of what Phantom X needs to have happen. He needs to be the one getting the picks, not getting picked. And like I said, the Billie Eilish damage right there, we saw what happened. Fizz completely blown up the damage there. Just needed a little bit of CC, which Wardbox could
Grand
provide.
challenge into the top lane. He's got the space, actually flashes away from Call of the Forge Gods. Gets knocked up though, but the team is here for backup. Gonna get blown up. 6th kill going over to Billie Eilish.
And MG Blaze is starting to hit that gas pedal. They have a very good team fight comp here. Sejuani, Leona for beautiful tank engage. Billie Eilish on Philios for range damage. Zyra Ascend starting to hit his pace on Vladimir as well. Starting to do damage, consistent damage, tankiness, and damage multipliers. MG Blaze just has to group up and force any lane right now, and they should be able to win any team fight that they begin and execute properly. We were talking about Phantom X and what Phantom X needs to do. His best bet right now is to work with Lord of Aces to take down Dirty Hobo. Dirty Hobo might be up in CS, but he is probably the most isolated member of MG Blaze there, and I don't expect to see Billie Eilish wandering anywhere on his own anytime soon.
Yeah, he's actually the same level as Billie Eilish now, so struggling a little bit to really find purchase in this game. Phantom X needs to find something fairly rapidly for his team to really be able to make this pick worthwhile, as Zyra sends Vladimir will just slowly scale into the game, get involved. As you said, there's so much engage option here for MG Blaze that they can really drive it home if they need to.
Yeah, and I think DoV needs to start looking at grouping up rather than staying in their lanes. They've lost all their tier 1 turrets now, and every lane has now become a long lane. If they continue remaining split and isolated, they can get easily picked off by MG Blaze. They have some wards in their jungle, but MG Blaze actually has more vision in their side of the base, in their side of the jungle, than DoV does.
Yeah, massive gold lead just creeping in here for MG Blaze as well, growing up to 6k all around the board. A lot of that is onto Billie Eilish, though, having a massive game already. But in the top side of the map, Dirty Hobo going aggressive. Call the Forge God and Grand Hands trading ults back and forward. He dodges it this time. This will be pretty big as he's going back. Last vital here for the Fok as well. Actually misses it. It gets timed out. So nice little bit of a trade here for Lord of Aces. He's trying to like secure himself around it, but he can't quite do it. Dirty Hobo will chase him around the map and secure that advantage for his team. Now he can win that 1v1. He can probably do it again and again and again.
Boom! That time bomb has begun to go off. Dirty Hobo has hit his base.
Looking for it as well. Chum the Waters is available if he needs it, but he doesn't really want it anymore. It's going to get dodged away from Dirty Hobo now with the Ignite ticking. He's looking for something more, looking for the 2v1 of the solo lane. Is going to find it. He's exploding onto the Rift.
And Phantom X is now in the most unenviable position of having no targets to kill. He can't 1v1 Dirty Hobo. He's not going to find Billie Eilish 1v1. He's going to have to be very opportunistic and hope that his team can get the engages. His team needs to start grouping up and finding those picks. And meanwhile, while all that had happened, Ocean Drake went over to MG Blaze there uncontested.
They summoned the Rift mid now. This is a big push here for MG Blaze. Can probably get a second charge actually onto the tower. No wave clear at the moment here. Lord of Aces showing up, but that's not going to be enough to thwart it. You also have that Fizz, a little bit of a proto belt forward, but that hasn't cleared the minions aggressively. Warbox looking for Phantom X here as well. A third crash coming on as the inhibitor falls now in the backside of the map. Grunt, he's flanked, but he doesn't really want it. Has to flash over the team. Massive engage there coming forward as the Moonlight Vigil just absolutely tears through POB.
And we see the flank there from Gunt, which was sort of the right idea there, but the problem for DoV right now is they're so far behind. Who's gonna front line to allow that flank? Lord of Aces, we saw, was getting zoned out, couldn't quite get in there to front line, and without a front line, the flank suddenly becomes the front line. And when you're all alone, you're gonna get
Zyra is trying to 4v1, has to flash defensively, uses the Fade Rush as well, quite successfully. Chum the Water's gonna get pulled as well. Nice little bit of a disengage here. He's running them on a merry chases. It's all about the top side as well. Lord of Aces trying to find something. The Zenith Blade is going to miss as they try to engage under the tower. Now the defense comes in. Poison Lynch trying to just wave clear as much as possible. But in the bottom, it's a 3-lane attack here. Dirty Hobo just on this tower, relentlessly pursuing it. Grunt is trying to clear it, but he doesn't have that TM hat. He doesn't have the wave clear available to him as though Dirty Hobo manages to secure the bottom.
And this spells the beginning of the end here for DoV. They chased after Zyra Ascends. They got the quick pick, but couldn't finish the Vladimir. He's too slippery. Fizz, Jinx, Trundle all went after him. Couldn't quite take him. Dirty Hobo, bot lane, completely unattended. Takes 2 turrets and gets out alive. Top lane, they just siege up Lord of Aces and apply pressure. There is no proper answer to this. DoV has to give something up. And the question is here, what do they give up? Which lane do they want to sacrifice? They need to fight, and they need to fight soon, or they are just going to slowly get choked out of the game.
Yeah, MG Blaze feeling very strong right now. They've started an early 21-minute Baron here. Uncontested as well. Hobo has TP into the bottom lane as well, but he's just taking the resources out of the jungle on the enemy side. He's going to come back in potentially for this inhibitor. Needs to be careful with his positioning as Gunt can maybe wrap around, but he doesn't want to take that 1v1. Needs support for his team. It's going to be a recall here for MG Blaze as well as they secure that Baron. So a back off here for Hobo as well as they'll reset around the map and look to take and drive home this Baron buff.
We just take a quick look at where things stand right now. MGB has all their summoners available. They have Baron buff and they have supers pushing down the mid lane there. DoV, on the other hand, does not have Flash on Trundle or Fizz. So 2 of the engagers there don't have their Flash available. They do have Flash on Jinx, so hopefully she will be able to stay safe, output damage there. She has an Executioner's Calling to help cut Vladimir's heal, but she doesn't have much damage. She doesn't have a completed BF Sword item yet, just only having the BF Sword component with the Runarns compared to Aphelios completed IE, completed Essence Reaver, completed Runarns.
Oh, definitely online, random. Easy lane assignments here coming out for MG Blaze. Minions in the middle doing their work. Split pushing Fiora in the bottom and a 4-man stack here. Phantom X is 3 levels down right now as he's just going to get shredded by Dirty Hobo as he tower dives and barely takes any damage in the process. Has the life still to be able to secure that for him as well. The 4-man unit just biding time, waiting for these supers to come into the middle as well. But it's just Fiora in the bottom that is unmatched, taking this inhibitor in the bottom. If they send players down, though, they're just going to lose the top. It's a full choke out here for MG Blaze.
Yeah, and Phantom X at this point is basically a minion with a dodge skill there.
All of full Gorge actually getting used. Zyra getting a little bit low, but he can pull over. Here comes the damage down for Billie Eilish as the Moonlight Vigil does so much work. A triple kill coming over to him as well as Dirty Hobo joins the flank. Phantom X trying to land chum the waters. Can't quite find Dirty Hobo as well. Minions flooding in from the mid as well. That'll be secured. Game going over to MG Blaze in a fairly quick fashion.
Yep, and I mean, we kind of saw it from the beginning, from the pick and ban phase there. MG Blaze getting the better team comp, the better lane strength and lane assignments there, winning lanes across the board, and they played it well, played it clean. They managed to snowball the leads in every single lane, slowly choking out Phantom X 0-3-0 scoreline. The most unfortunate there, his lane opponent Zyra Ascent 0-0-4 didn't manage to get any kills of his own, but did manage to get some assists.
Yeah, exactly, random. Wonderful best of 1 coming out between these two teams. And at the end of the day, MG Blaze just showing and proving they were the better team. Risky pick coming out of Phantom X. Couldn't get it going on this Fizz's. Zyra's pressure in the mid just meant that he couldn't roam, couldn't secure anything around the map. And they just faltered a little bit at the end.
Yeah, but it was a fast, good, clean game. Doesn't mean that DoV is out of the race yet. They've won one, they've lost one, and there's one more game of the night for them, and we'll see whether or not they can end the night 2-1. And for MGB, they are now up 2-0, and we'll see if they can keep their win streak going. We are going to intermission, and we'll be back with round 3 of the games after this. Stay tuned.